Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's DLloyd. So the Los Angeles Lakers are on a serious chase to try to get an 8 seed or better. Of course, they took a step backwards last night in the loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they are now back at 9. So everything that happened over the past few days, they took that step backwards, and you're still trying to claw your way out. You're probably going to have to win the last 3 to move up, but we're here today to talk about what could potentially happen in the offseason. Yes, we still have the playoffs to talk about, but before that, let's get into what we like to do best for an office talk, free agent talk, rumor, all that good stuff, right? So Brian Windhorst talked about on his podcast today how he believes that both LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell will eventually opt out of their deals heading into the offseason. And that is something that has been somewhat expected, right? Let's take a look at the salary cap, and we'll first look at D'Angelo Russell. Now, you guys have to remember, they're at the 178.8 projected next season. You want to stay under 179 if possible. That is where the first apron penalties begin. Second apron at $190 million. Those are the two very, very important numbers. Of course, you do want to stay under the tax level of 172, but the Lakers are historically, right, a tax-paying team. That is probably still going to be the case, but you have such a fine margin between that and being an apron team, so you have to be very, very careful with how things pan out. So currently, $166 million in total salary. The Lakers 178.8 with 11.2 million in potential cap hold. So if they were to sign Taurean Prince for the $8.6 million, say they go ahead and re-sign him for that, go ahead and complete that deal, they're at 187. Say they do the exact same thing with Max Christie, they go ahead and just re-sign him for 2.6. I'm sure he'll probably go for more than that, but say 2.6, bam, $190 million on the dot, and the Lakers are now a second apron team. So you want to avoid most of that, right? And this is where the complications come for the Lakers, trying to avoid as much stuff as possible when it comes to just being tied up, right, with the money, because it's going to be extremely tough. And I'll go ahead and now undo those signings, and we'll take a look at the realistic expectations for the Lakers when it comes to D'Angelo Russell and LeBron James, right? So we pull it back up, and now we're back at the 178.8, $11.2 million in cap hold. DLloyd has the $18.7 million player option. So say he goes ahead and he is going to decline that option. That brings you down to 160. Now your cap hold going to be at $26 million. I don't think the Lakers signed DLloyd for $26 million. So I think that helps you a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's just go through this, right? Taurean Prince is a guy, you renounce him. You don't bring him back. He's going to come off the cap hold for you. You don't have to pay him. That is not potential salary. Say you're going to go ahead and you're going to re-sign Max Christie. Say, just for talk, you get him for the 2.6. So now you're sitting at 162 with a potential $26 million in space for D'Angelo Russell, which makes things tricky because say you sign him for, let's say, a number of $20 million. Bam, 182. You are now a first apron team. So you're going to need to get that number a little bit shorter, than that. Let's say now you go ahead and you try to get that deal down back to $18 million, 180.7. So now you have some room to try to, release the player. You're going to do what you can to try to get under that number, or you just simply try to see if you can get DLloyd back for $17 million, somewhere in that range, especially if you go ahead and extend and make it a longer term deal, which is definitely possible. It's definitely possible. But that number being around 18, 17, let's say 19, $20 million, that is really the spot that the Lakers want to be in when it comes to trying to get D'Angelo Russell. Now, will another team out there pay more than that? If so, Lakers are going to be in quite a bit of trouble, because remember, even if they lose D'Angelo Russell, it's not like they are in a better spot. So let's go back once again and say they go ahead, they lose D'Angelo Russell completely, right? So they don't have any cap hold, but you're still at $162 million. Yes, you're fine. You are not. You have $9 million to play with in terms of the taxpayer level, but you're still negative $21 million in cap space. So it really does not help you too much. And who can you get rid of? You're not getting rid of anybody that can really afford you that space, unless it's Gabe Vincent and a Jared Vanderbilt. And even then, get rid of both those contracts, you're not going to be able to bring in another player at around the $18 million mark. So it's going to be extremely tough, unless, you know, they pair them in the trade. It's going to be extremely tough for the Lakers to make a lot of moves. So realistically, what they need is D'Angelo Russell to do a sign and trade or get an extension at that mark. Those are really the two options the Lakers want. Sign and trade, you can ship it off. You can bring in another player at that around that same money that they wanted before, and you are fine. As for LeBron James, $51 million, he's probably not going to opt into that, right? So what is being reported by Brian Windhorst right now is that he will opt out of that deal, which will then, of course, just make that a cap hole, right? He'll be out of there. So you get out of there, you renounce it, which you won't renounce it. He's going to decline that option. Then you'll re-sign him, and I don't know where the number is. Even if it is 2 years, around that 50 million, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to add a player option, right, for a third year potentially, right? And I don't know if this website will allow us to do the player option, so we'll just add in 3. Bam, 3 years, 155, and that is still at that 160 with a $26 million in cap hole. So you're still in that situation right there where at this point, right, $19 million or less is going to be the number for D'Angelo Russell. And the reason why Brian Windhorst is talking about potentially LeBron opting out of the deal is simple, really, and it's just because he would like a no trade clause. Now, the way it's currently set up, if you extend a contract that does not have a no trade, or that doesn't have the no trade clause in it already, you cannot then add on, right, the no trade clause. So essentially, you would just create a new deal. You're not going to extend the deal. You're not going to opt in to the player option. You will create a new deal, or you will sign a 1-year deal. And that is how LeBron James can try to go ahead and get that no trade clause if that is what he is looking for. And why would he want that? Well, maybe he has plans on what he wants to do. Maybe he wants to stay around his son, who was still in high school in LA. Maybe that is the plan. We don't know where Bronny is going to end up playing, if he will be in the NBA or he will transfer to another school, or even stay at USC. We don't know Bronny's plans, but LeBron, he probably wants that certainty that he will be in a certain location. No trade clause. And then if something does go left, he can still control where he ends up going, right? If he's going to waive that or not. So I think for LeBron, that'll be very important to get that no trade clause in there. I think the Lakers will give it to him. The years is going to be the sticky point, but knowing the Lakers and their track record, I don't see them not going with a 3-year deal if that is what LeBron James wanted. I think anything longer than that, they won't. I think the sweet spot will probably be 2 years and a player option, 2 years and a team option. I don't think LeBron will go with that one. So it'll probably be a player option for that third season. So that is pretty much where we stand right now. LeBron James opting out reportedly, right? So he gets that no trade clause, and D'Angelo Russell. And that is going to be the key. We keep saying it over and over again. D-Lo in free agency. What are other teams going to do? Are they going to open up their wallets and pay D'Angelo Russell? If so, that's going to leave the Lakers in a very sticky situation. It's going to be very tough for them to really improve that roster without D'Angelo Russell. Whether they keep D-Lo, they sign and trade D-Lo, they're going to essentially need him and that salary to make any type of moves. But at the same time, they're a little restricted as to what they can do when it comes to being a first apron team or a second apron team. Are they willing to dip their toes into that second apron to bring back a D'Angelo Russell? We'll see. We'll see, man. But you guys let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. What should the Lakers do? Do you think they'll end up trading D'Angelo Russell? Will they keep him? LeBron James opting out. What do you guys think about that? I don't think it's a big deal. He's probably looking, like Brian Windhorst said, that no trade clause. Get that in there, and I'm sure you can get LeBron James back. So let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. As usual, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor. Go ahead and leave this video a like. It helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. It's DLloyd. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Peace.